Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TinyBlueGames. My name, of course, is Seesaw or Chris, and today we're talking about WildStar. So I've had a few people ask for it in my comments of my videos to make a new add-on guide for WildStar, at least some of the add-ons that I've been using still to this day, and I figured I'd go ahead and do that. So these add-ons aren't, anything particularly special. They're just the add-ons that I find I get the most use of whenever I'm playing the game. Some of them are the top on the curse add-on part for WildStar, and some of them are just add-ons that I got way back when, and they work quite well. And so if you've never heard of an add-on before, these are the little things you can add to your game to make it more convenient for yourself. And if you don't know where to get them, just type in WildStar add-ons to your local Google, and it'll take you to Curse, most likely. And if it doesn't, just type in Curse WildStar add-ons to your Google, and it'll take you to the WildStar section of Curse add-ons. And that's where I recommend you download everything, and you can see all the add-ons there and search through them, and there'll be information on them. It'll just be a whole wonderful place for you if you've never been there. It's like the App Store, but for add-ons. So yeah. And then at the end of this video, I'll do a quick little tutorial on how I manually install add-ons for those of you who haven't ever done it before. You can also use the Curse sort of app, or it's not in game, but like the thing you can download, the Curse software package, and it'll add your add-ons in automatically. But without any more talking and stammering, let's get into the list of add-ons for today. So the first one we're going to talk about, and this is the first actual add-on, or the top add-on in the Curse section, is the damage meter. I think it's called Combat Meter. I think that because I've actually gone through so many combat meters. Let's just check. It is actually called Combat Meter. Excellent. So the Combat Meter is beautiful, and it is the, I don't know, like the best meter I've actually used so far in WildStar. I've used 3 in total now. The reason I mostly switched to this one is because development on the other ones is either slow, or people have left the game and don't, develop them. This one's actually also the nicest looking one. It's the closest to World of Warcraft's recount meter that I used to use, so I am quite familiar with it and like it. It's got a really clean, clear button right there. You saw I had damage there. I'll just sort of attack a monster again and show you what that looks like. Let's attack this guy. Bam. Bam. There we go. Look at that killer DPS. But yeah, that's all it is. It'll show your damage, obviously, and other people's damage as well. It's funny that you have to specify that. I guess, like, if you've ever played Guild Wars 2, there's a whole big kerfuffle about damage meters reading other people's damage, and like what damage meters can show and can't show. Whereas if you go into these games where add-ons are just, part of life, no one cares. So it's just a funny thing. But yeah, that's my first add-on I would recommend. The next add-on that I do recommend is also one of the top lists in the add-on section of Curse, and that is Raid Core. I believe I'm saying that right. And that is like a deadly boss mods, or something like that just shows a bunch of symbols and like timers for raid bosses, and it gives you a lot of help in terms of planning out when you want to move somewhere or where you want to go. And just to show you and to make sure I'm saying it right, let's go raid. If you type in raid or /raid C, you'll see that the text turns a different color here, and it'll open up the info. Yeah, Raid Core. I was right. Look at that, guys. So Raid Core, and we can actually see here we're on encounters, and it lists all the different raid bosses in the game. And then with that, we can go to Genetic Archives and Experiment X89. And we see all these different options, like show line to indicate the front of X89. So you can either check them off, check them on. It depends on, I guess, what you find very helpful, what you don't find helpful. And if you're new to an encounter, maybe it's great to have a few more things on. And then as you get more comfortable with the encounter, maybe you don't need to see the line in front of X89. You're just comfortable knowing where it's going to be. So I think it's a very, very good add-on. You've got some settings as well where you can change kind of a bit of display and stuff like that. It's really clean and loads up really well, which is good. In terms of development, it looks like there is a main developer still, and it just keeps on getting passed on to whoever is the most active in the community, so that's good. That one's also downloaded at the Curse add-ons area, if I didn't mention that already. The next add-on we're going to talk about is Aura Mastery. This one is also more focused towards endgame PvE and PvP, really. It's really for people who care a lot more about when their cooldowns are going to go off or when specific things happen to them. That's what this little icon right here is, my volatile injection. That's why I can see it right here. And I can actually drag that and I can put it like right here if that's better in my field of view. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell me it's particularly important to see when the cooldown comes off so I can use it right away. So if I go ahead and use volatile injection, we'll see that I have a timer that says exactly how long until it comes up, which is very crisp, clean, and it allows me to really make use of a lot of my skills, particularly for certain game types, maybe knowing when your interrupt comes off cooldown or something like that. That could be quite useful, or your ult, or your R ability or whatever could be quite good on an engineer. So to get to this one, you just type in /am. You'll see that the text goes white again. We're going to open that, and this screen looks a little bit messed up. Let's go to general to sort of clean it up. And I'm actually I've reset like my add-ons recently, so I'm kind of going through them again. But the newest one I just made here, and you can just make a new one just by clicking Add Aura. I made Volatile Injection, put the name here, put the spell name that you're going to be tracking. So Volatile Injection, just make sure you spell it right, and it'll pick up the little symbol for you. You can go to appearance and choose the symbol if you want, or choose like a bunch. Like there's a ton of shit you can do to customize it. You could get lost in here in terms of where you want things, of what you want to be tracked. Like there's even animations. You could do whatever the hell you want. Even add text to it. So there's a lot of options, which is great. These little things here are choosing like where specifically you would want text around the icon if you did. It just makes the page look kind of messy, but that's okay. It's okay. It works really well. So I do recommend this one. Let's put it. I like it right here, which you'd argue isn't much better than having it right here. But I find my eye, like I'm looking at my DPS meter sometimes, which also you're not supposed to do if you want to do well in this game, but I do sometimes. So that's just where I have it. And that one can be accessed from the Curse. All of them can be accessed from Curse add-ons. Like that's where you should download them if you want to be safe. I mean, you can download things from sketchy websites, but that would be the place to do it. Yeah. So the fourth add-on I want to talk about, this one's not as high on the list, maybe it is Tap That. And this is a really, really simple add-on. We just click that and it shows you the options. So it actually has a lot easier way of accessing it, in my opinion, as well. So you don't have to remember what everything's called. But what this does is, so any of the things where you push F on something and you have to like tap F a bunch, or you have to hold F, or you have to push F like twice, but like at certain intervals during that little bar, or remember things, that's what this, like the little assignment games or whatever, that's what this add-on can do for you. And I mean, there's a bit of controversy about this because you could say this one's actually kind of like playing the game for you. It's a little bit cheaterish, but it's been in the game forever, and it's even like one of the higher rated add-ons, so I can't see there being like, well, there is no issues with it. It's just for yourself. If you want to play those little mini games, go ahead. If like me, you just find them irritating from time to time, I would get this. You don't have to do anything when you just go and push F on something. I'm actually not near anything, which, you know, I should have maybe done that for the video, but it's okay. You guys can imagine. Use your imaginations. Walk up to something, push F. It asks you to do all this stuff, and you just stand there. You don't push anything else. One of the challenges with it that I particularly find challenging, actually, is if you do start to do the thing yourself, it'll automatically cancel the Tap That thing, and oftentimes you'll fail because of that. So if you are using the add-on, you have to get used to just like hitting F once to open it and just leave it do its business. So yeah. And then the other issue, I guess, is if they add new complicated things to do with that, it might not have it prepared right away or not be updated. I've never really ran into that problem, but I could see it being a problem and being a funny situation for some people. But yeah, I'd recommend that add-on. It's on Curse. Go get it. So number 5 is an add-on that is actually a little bit more hidden on Curse. It's called Vince Builds, and it is probably to date my favorite add-on in the game still. I don't know if there's other add-ons that do exactly the same thing but better. There might be. Like I say, I just kind of stuck with this one because it worked for me and it hasn't actually stopped working yet, so that's pretty great. But what that is this beautiful little tiki mask over here that you've probably been curiously staring at. Or if you've already seen me, I do have another video where I talk about it a bit more in detail, and I will plug that video in this video. It's like at the end of the video, so just skip past all the boring like amp and skill point talk and get to the add-on. But yeah, what this add-on does, you can click on it, and you can see all these different names here. And say I want to click on DPS. I click on DPS, and you'll see my skill bar has changed its icons, just like that. I want to tank. I click that. I've changed my entire skill bar and my actual gear, as well as my costume or wardrobe, just like that. It was super quick, and it just quickly changes everything. Let's go PvP. Change everything. Look at that. Look at that. Look how ready we are. Some retro PvP gear. Love it. Go single DPS. Right back here. I obviously have a helmet that I specifically like more for single target DPS as opposed to AoE DPS for some reason. So that's a thing. But yeah. And then finally, I have even a very specific build that I like to run for X89. Which I don't actually know what it changed. Yeah, I don't know what it changed. Let's just go back to PvP. I like that one. Look, that one's look the most. Did I like break the whole thing now? No, there we go. Okay, we're back to DPS. Cool. So that's the add-on. You can go ahead and, like, if you right-click it, you can go and change everything in here. And like I say, that video that I did link to the screen will tell you how to organize stuff in this, because it's probably the one that's the least, or it's the most it's not the most complicated, but there's less instructions. Like, it's just this screen and you kind of have to figure it out yourself. So if you do have troubles with figuring it out, I would check out that video. But yeah, those are the 5 add-ons that I probably still use the most in 2017. I've probably forgotten about a lot of really good add-ons, so if you are a WildStar player and have some add-ons that you'd like to recommend to new players, do so in the comments below. I'd love to hear, and if I don't have it, I'd love to use it as well. So let us both know what add-ons are great. And now I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on how to manually install the add-ons if you've never done so before. Alright, so we're going to just briefly discuss how to get the add-ons onto your computer. So from the Curse page, you should have 2 different options. You can either install via Curse Client, like I was trying to stammer through during the video, or you can download now, which is just to do it manually. The way you're going to do that is go to your File Explorer and type in %appdata%, and this will bring up a whole different window for you. You'll go through this and you'll find NCSoft, you'll find WildStar, as you can see at the top here. So app data, roaming, NCSoft, WildStar, add-ons. Go into this file and just drop whatever you get, extract it right into here, and you're good to go.